Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not tonight. Tonight, we skate with them. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can.
Inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, no, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate, there is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me, this is how legends are made.
What is up, Rio Hondo Prep football fans? It is the second round of the CIF Southern Section playoffs, and your Rio Hondo Prep Cares will be taking on the Martin Luther King Wolves, or the King Wolves as they go by, MLK, many different names, but that is the opponent here upcoming for Rio Hondo Prep. And of course, this game will in fact be on the road once again, as you know, that's just kind of the Rio Hondo way, really. The sixth consecutive, you heard that right, sixth consecutive road postseason game for the Rio Hondo Prep Cares. Have not had a home game since the opening round of last year's playoffs against St. Margaret's. Since then, we have seen them go to Orange County at Orange High School, Vista del Lago, Santa Monica, up into Tulare last year in the regional. This year, last week, against Ramona in Riverside, and now we go back to Riverside to take on MLK and the King Wolves. So a lot of exciting times here for Rio Hondo Prep, the alumni, the parents, the players, just a lot of fun stuff going on here in the postseason. And you know, it's exciting. It could end at any moment, which is crazy to think about. But everyone seems very loose. I know the boys are practicing and working hard, and they just seem like they're ready to go for whoever they will be facing here in the future. And they will be taking on a team here in the second round, MLK out of Riverside, that shut out their opponent last week, a team that, you know, we have a little history with. We played last season in the semifinals, Vista del Lago. In that game last Friday, Vista del Lago had 5 turnovers, which is similar to what we did to them last year. And King here has just really they've been on fire. They have been clicking on all cylinders, at least in the first round game we saw. And we will break them down a lot here in the pregame show, like we often do. But we have a great guest on the program as well. Today we're going to be joined by Tim Lunney on the podcast, and Tim is a guy that you see on the sidelines quite often. They're taking pictures of our guys up close and personal. He was teammates with Coach Carson back in the day. And let's see here, football. Just double checking, getting all my ducks in a row here, making sure we're all good to go with everything. But Tim Lunney was a teammate of Coach Carson, and so we'll talk a little bit about that. Tim Lunney was also the son of a legendary coach Gary Lunney, who was a defensive coordinator for so many years for Rio Hondo Prep. So hopefully we have some funny stories there. But we will be talking about the King Wolves, MLK out of Riverside in the second portion of our podcast here. But just off the bat, wanted to mention the score from Friday night with King beating up Vista del Lago. King improves to 8-3 on the season. They were 3-2 in their league, but a very convincing performance over Vista Del Lago last week, 24-0. So the Cares are up for it. Two defenses go into this game that haven't given up a point yet in the postseason, which really says something. Many teams, or many, I guess, experts will say, had picked Vista Del Lago to win Division 7. Well, that will not be the case, of course, as they have gone down in the first round of the playoffs. And we were hoping kind of for that semifinal rematch this year. If they had won, they would have come to Care Park. We would have got that home game, but unfortunately, the King Wolves won, and they were on the road as well. So again, it comes down to a coin flip. And as Coach Carson said, it's got to be some kind of record to lose 6 straight coin tosses. Really, that's really something. So maybe we'll get on the other end of it at some point. I do not want to look ahead, but I will just notify you guys of this information now, since they do all these things a week in advance. Just so you know, the coin flips occur at the CIF office like a day after the games are played. So the coin flips have already been determined for the semifinals, and I don't believe we had any issue there, because I think we have the automatic home game with both of the opponents on the other side of the bracket having a home game already. We don't have one. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. The first things first here is the King Wolves and their football program, and they are led by their quarterback Khan, who will break down a little bit more here, and again in the second half of the podcast. But a second round on the road, very similar. It kind of feels like to last year's second round game at Orange, where the Cares went up against a very good running team and running quarterback Hype Grand and their arsenal they had. So we'll get into all the details about the MLK Wolves and everything they bring to the table. But it's a football team that plays in a great league. They went 3-2 in that league. They have played we'll see if we can find some common opponents on their schedule. But man, a football team that I think we're going to have our hands full with on Friday. And I will just say this because I think it kind of, I don't know. I think we embrace the role, but we are the underdogs once again. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's better when we kind of go into games with that chip on our shoulder anyway. And, you never want to get overconfident anyway, thinking, oh, yeah, we're going to beat this team. I think we have a very tough test in front of us. And I say that every week. I know I pump up certain games, and maybe you guys stop believing me at some point. But we got to go into these games with the right mentality, we'll say. And you got to continue with that Rio Hondo us against the world mentality, because I guarantee you there'll be people picking against us again this week or have already. And you know what, MLK, they're probably not going to take us lightly. I think maybe, I'm just throwing this out there, maybe Ramona did a little bit, thinking, our little running offense isn't all that complicated, and our defense isn't tough enough to stop them. Well, MLK, after seeing what we did to Ramona, will not take us lightly by any means. So the Cares need to come ready once again, in this second round matchup, and be ready to hit. It's a violent game. Coach Carson talked about that last week and poured his guys. Hey, it's a violent game. Give me those 10 minutes of actual football action with extreme violence. And we did just that legally, of course, all clean hits and things, but you got to play this game physical. And with the MLK Wolves out there, the King Wolves, you got to come ready to play, because teams in Riverside, they play different. They're tough. Even last week with Ramona, you saw they weren't used to getting a hit, maybe like we gave it to them, but they played very physical, and that game took a toll on us, I for sure. But our kids are tough, maybe tougher than people give them credit for, and we're ready for a fight once again. And I'm excited about this matchup on the road. Let's go Riverside. Where you want to play this? Let's do this. So Rio is up against a much better team this week than last week, in my opinion. Rather explosive team that can score at will, and they're again led by their quarterback. And we'll get into all that action information and things after our interview here. But let's get to Tim Lunney right now. Bring him on the show. He graciously sat down with me to talk about his playing days, maybe what Coach Carson was like as a teammate, and of course, all the fun he has on Friday nights, taking excellent photos with his giant camera lens out there, and just contributing to Rio Hondo Prep football like so many other people have there, and continue to do so. So let's get to him. He's a teacher at Rio Hondo Prep, big-time photographer for the football program, and a guy that has a great history with RHP football as well. Here's our guest for the pregame show this week, Tim Lunney. All right, we are now joined by our guest, Tim Lunney, coming on the podcast today. Looks like he's joining us from the wilderness or somewhere out there. What's going on, Tim?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Oh, I'm at Claremont College. Is going to do a photo shoot later today. So it should be
Okay.
fun. Coach Drain.
What kind of a photo shoot? Coach Rain.
Yeah, I do photo shoots in my free time. Got to make a little extra cash from my care habit,
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. I
No,
mean,
I do family photo shoots for people. So yeah, Kaylee and Ed are going to come out here with the kids later on, take some shots. So it'll be fun.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Little
Promo.
advertisement promo.
No.
Absolutely. If you need some family photo shoots, you know the guy to call here, Tim Lunney. So, Tim, you do a great job on Friday nights for the football program, taking photos, action shots. We see a lot of those published by Brian Reed Baedo in the 210 Prep Sports. When did you get involved in doing photography for real football?
I've done photos for years, but just the last couple of years, shout out to Jose Montanez. He let me borrow that gigantic lens. So obviously my game's been upped a little bit with that gigantic lens. A lot of fun doing that. So yeah, I really enjoyed taking the pictures, posting them online for the guys to watch, and for the parents, so they can enjoy the game and not worry about the photos. They could just look at mine later on. So always a lot of fun.
I mean, Belinda Mosier out there, Dom, who's a senior. I mean, we got Mr. Heaton sometimes. We got all kinds
Mrs.
of
Coulter,
angles. Mrs. Coulter, yeah.
So,
man,
it's good. Yeah,
I would say Rio Hondo Prep is well covered in that area with good photographs.
Yeah, plus the media coverage by Mr. Bray and the crew. Got Kyle and Clark doing the play-by-play. I mean, it's incredible. Sometimes I want to just stay home and watch them. I mean, they're so good.
Yeah, man. It's really awesome to see the energy from all these different people that give of their time to contribute and make this football program even more special than we know it is.
Absolutely. And we're all volunteers. We just come out and do it because we love it. We love the program. So absolutely.
And I love it, the fact that we get to publicize it and let the world know about it a little bit too, whether it photographs,
it helps
podcasts.
That the guys, the football team's been doing well the last couple of years, anyway, they've been doing really well. Proud of those guys.
Yeah, man. What's it like, Tim? You're a teacher at the school. You see these guys and to know that these are just, I mean, they're not just high school guys. There are guys, but
they're just average kids, man. But they work so hard. Oh my goodness, they work hard. They play tough. Even just last night's game, watching them, like Nate going in there, just hitting guys so hard, and all these guys, man, they're just Caden, and I'm just impressed by how well these guys do play.
Yeah, so. And we say average kids just because it's no knock. There's nothing average about the things they do. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible on the field. They represent us so well each and every Friday night.
Yeah, and they're great students too. Most of these guys, they're still, I mean, not all, but they're all, a bunch of them are straight A students doing AP courses. Like I teach the AP calculus class. I got some of those guys in there. I have AP pre-calc. Some of those guys are in there. So I'm out there with my students taking photos of them at the games, and it's a lot of fun. So I enjoy it.
I don't think I could spell calculus, let alone take those classes in high school.
Yeah, so, I don't think you got to that part. I think your math analysis was, but you were in my physics course. I remember that. Yeah, I had
that's right.
Physics. That was a lot of fun.
You got me through that somehow. I don't know how you and Ginger Lunney, your sister, Ginger Deemers, now got me through Rio Hondo at times.
No, you're a great student. I mean, you worked hard. That's all you got to do. You put in the effort, and you're gonna be successsul. Right?
Yeah. That's whether it's football. I just knew, okay, you got to pass these classes so you can play football. That's all I remember. So
that's fine.
Nothing wrong with
works,
that. Right. As far as teaching goes, Tim, what would you say about, Rio Hondo student body is so small. I think you've only taught there. What's it like working in small classrooms at Rio Hondo Prep? You're able to give attention more to kids,
Absolutely.
maybe.
I give a lot of attention to the students, walk around, help each student individually. I actually run what's called a flip math environment where the kids are doing worksheets, and I'm basically a tutor, and I'm teaching them, and then they watch the videos at home instead of like doing lectures, and then they go home and don't know what to do. So it's been very beneficial, and I've seen a lot of it's been a good way to teach the program to them. So a lot of success on our APs recently for that, and so I enjoy it. I don't do a lot of lecturing, but I do lecture when needed, and then I can walk around and help the kids when they need help. So each individual problem. So it's really, really good that way.
It's so interesting.
I don't know if I teach the 7th grade. We did a cool experiment yesterday. We did lava lamps, and the kids were all excited about that. And yeah, a lot of fun. I like teaching. So
It's so interesting to see these guys do, these AP classes, for instance. And then, yeah, we get some great videos from a lot of your stuff on the Rio Hondo Prep social media stuff. Seems like you guys are doing experiments like every other day. It's rockets, it's lava. There's all kinds of things going on.
I prefer teaching a project-based curriculum instead of just, going out there and doing lectures and tests every day. I'll let them learn through experience. That's the best way to learn. So.
Was it, refresh my memory, was it a few weeks ago or recently where there was like a physics field trip or something like that? Was that...
This year we don't have physics. Physics alternates every year with AP Bio. So the bio class, they went to like a soap manufacturing company or something. One of the parents has contacts there. But last year in physics, we did the NRHA races, the dragster. Wow. We did that. We competed in the sea perch underwater robotics competition. So we do some fun stuff. We're getting more into the robotics and learning how to program them through like drag and drop interfaces, and then also pure coding through like robot C programming language. Do a lot more than we did when you were in high school.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We might have built a catapult when you were there. I don't even remember. So.
Yeah, basic stuff. No wonder our kids are so smart on the football field with all those intricate offensive plays and everything. No. It starts in the classroom with all that good stuff. That's
for sure.
that is really neat, man. You've been teaching at Rio for quite some time now.
Since 2000. Yeah, I graduated in 2000, started the same year. I actually started before I graduated as an assistant to Phil Horton. So yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, he's a good teacher
great.
Too.
Yeah, you were right in the high school program because I had a few of your classes, as we mentioned. So, yeah, it seems like you got that Lunney energy that goes into the classroom.
I get the creativity from my mom and the strictness from my dad.
Well, let's talk about your dad, Tim.
Sure.
Gary Lunney, an absolute legend of a football coach. We have so many funny stories about him.
Right.
I will say there's not many great defensive coordinators in the history of football that also taught Latin and boy choir and band or whatever. So talk to me about the legend.
Singing the White House. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
The choir. Right? Yeah. Talk to me about Gary.
Yeah. So my dad is amazing. He recently passed in 2020, the year of COVID. He had battled Parkinson's for 15, 20 years. I actually moved home to take care of him as his main caregiver. So, but got a special bond with him. It's different being the kid. Now I was kind of like the son taking care of the dad, and definitely had a huge bond there with him, and cherished it. I cherished looking back at it. It was tough, man. It was tough. Any caregivers out there, I know what you're going through, but yeah, definitely rewarding. And I miss him terribly, but yeah, for sure. It's I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I was able to help him out, give him the best quality of life. Because I brought him to church every week. Took him out to eat 3 or 4 times a week. We walk into Chili's and they say, "Hey, Gary, how's it going?" That kind of stuff. They knew my dad. They had a special table for us. So, yeah.
He was a special man.
For sure.
I mean, he touched so many of us. And I will say, Tim, God bless you for that, because I remember the little things like that. I mean, I'll never forget. I think you brought him to football games. Sometimes you'd wheel him in his wheelchair and sit in there. And just to see Coach Lunney in the wheelchair looking out at the field and seeing it all, seeing the motion, everything going in his head. Oh, man.
He wanted to go to every game possible, up until, I don't remember the last year. He went maybe 2016, 17 in there. But he's like, "Are we going Friday? Let's go. So I like teaching all day and get home, maybe coach on a Friday sometimes, and I get home, take him to the game. So it was good times.
I was junior high, and when he was kind of in his last days as defensive coordinator, and when I moved into high school. But I remember talking to him as a 7th grader. It's Mr. Lunney. Who we playing this week? What's the scouting report? He'd pull out the paper. He'd start showing me all the notes and the scouting. He did.
Yeah,
he loved sharing that.
It's easy to get him off the topic, especially like in Latin. He'd be like, "Oh, let's talk football instead, or let's talk Vietnam, or whatever." His war experiences. So, good times. He was a good storyteller too. So
yeah, when you got a Vietnam veteran as your D coordinator, things are going to be tough.
Yeah, sergeant in the Army. I mean, it's real.
He was
strict.
a sergeant.
Yeah, he was a sergeant. Yeah.
Okay. And I know he has a book out there that he wrote about his experiences in Vietnam.
Right. So it's Vietnam Duty Calls is the name of the book. It's out of print now, but if anyone wants to know about it, I could probably send you a electronic version of it or something. So
he was hilarious. I mean, he spoke very freely, and with us young kids, if someone wasn't paying attention, he'd be, Fred, Monte Blanco, what? Huh? And he'd be like, boom, you're gone. Like,
he was straight matter of fact too. Like in football, like you make a mistake, you be like, my grandma in for Hersma or whatever it is,
We've all been, my grandmother in for Hersma all the time. What else? Dave Diaz told me that one time. He said,
put rocks in your purse and hit them harder or whatever you used to say. Go fight cheating. Let's go, little guys. I mean, those are all his famous quotes, right?
He had so many good
ones. Bite him in the kneecaps or
whatever. Hit him with your purse next time. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Mr. Lunney just had a way about him, and the military experience and all that was just played into it. Also, it is Veterans Day on Monday, or what? And this weekend, we can't thank Mr. Lunney enough and others for serving our country.
Yeah, they actually have a ceremony out in San Dimas, and he's part of that wall there. His name's inscribed in the San Dimas wall, so I'll probably be going to that on Monday to, be there with my dad.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. I have not seen that. I will have to get over there and get a photo of that sometime.
Just south on San Dimas Avenue, south of the railroad tracks there. Check it out. It's pretty cool.
Oh man, that's fantastic. That is great. What was it like, Tim? You played Rio Hondo Prep football in the early 90s. What was it like playing for defensive coordinator?
We were real small. We were real small, and you played both ways. There was no breaks. I could remember the only time I ever came out was like my senior year when I popped my shoulder out. But other than that, I was there offense, defense, both ways. That's just what you did. We had 13 guys on the team and played 8-man. So there wasn't a lot of give and take there. And then, you got Larry Pollock over there and Payne and all that, and his little cramp.
Yeah, there's some connections to your team now. Larry Pollock's son, Rain, is on the team.
Yeah, I love watching Rain out there, and I coached Rain when he was first and second grader out in Covina. He hated football. It's hilarious. He hated football, dude. Now look at him. He's a beast. Oh, what a guy. He's great. I love watching him play. He enjoys every second now. So, he's a lot of fun to watch.
You like football a little bit better when you grow a little bit, too. So that's
right?
something else.
I mean, he's right.
Big dude. So you have that connection to this current team with, playing with his father, Larry, in high school. You also played alongside head coach Mark Carson back in high school. That's correct.
Yeah, Mark was actually a smaller guy in high school. I don't know if a lot of guys know that, but his freshman year, he couldn't play high school ball. He was like under 100 pounds. So he actually played junior high league his freshman year, and then but then he was like quarterback JV year. So nothing held him back. He was a really good player in varsity, junior, senior year. So it's a lot of fun.
I always ask guys about this who played alongside him or knew or you knew him well. Did you guys? Is it surprising at all that he is now the head coach of this team?
No, of course not. Yeah, he was definitely the guy. Even back in the day, his technique of tackling. I mean, his textbook tackling out at corner, dude. He was so good. Yeah.
Just a guy that
and
always
just the love of the game. He just loves sports, loves football. Basketball, football wasn't necessarily our sport. Basketball was. We got to the semis and then missed it on, a last second layup, heartbreaking. But Mark was definitely part of that, intricate part of the team. He was our best free throw shooter back in the day. Any fouls or technical fouls, he's the guy, man, because he wasn't going to miss. He was amazing. We had Wally Ashby. Shout out to Ashby there. Carl Graham. Good group of guys there. So,
isn't it funny, Tim, how the guys you play with forever, it's just like these bonds are formed that last a lifetime.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I was talking earlier about like just RHP football, what does it mean to me? Like I lived in that greenhouse as you drive down Milo Ann into Farn Avenue there where the Mosers used to live. So I lived in that house when I was a kid. And so Friday nights, the lights are on. I smell the French fries. I'd go down there. They'd be playing Rocky, and the team would be running out to Rocky. They formed a little circle. And Mark and I and Ken, John, Bill, all those guys, we'd be like jumping up and down in the bleachers. So Yeah, good
Man.
times. Good times.
Great memories. And I think that's where, for most of us, a Rio Hondo Prep passion and love came from, is when you're a kid looking forward to being those guys
Oh,
someday.
for sure. Yeah, during halftime, we'd go out and we play, smear and like try to impress the high school guys who were walking by. Look how good I am. Yeah, I got the ball. I tackle him. So, yeah.
But that's one of the most unique things to Rio football too. And I'm sure, with the kids you coach and care, bringing kids to Rio games, I mean, that's a big deal.
Absolutely. And like Dave Carson brought a group of kids just last week. It's good to see the care kids there. Yeah, love it.
And our players getting to see the young kids that they used to be now looking up to them. That's the beautiful cycle of Rio football.
Yeah, and even like the junior high level today, they won the championship. Congratulations, junior high boys! I was there, and just after the game, they were like lining up by their care teams and taking pictures with like, these are all the care boys that were on Dave Drain's team or whatever it was. Like, dude, that's cool, man.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty neat.
Oh man, I like that so much. That is really, really great. You mentioned some memories there as a kid, kind of looking up to Rio football. If you could, man, what you got any favorite moments or memories or games or anything like that from RHP football over the years?
Actual favorite moments, man, probably when I was a kid and watching the varsity guys play. I wasn't part of that first championship team because I was probably at home sleeping when I was 4 years old when that one's going on. But, my dad was the defensive coach. We would go on scouting trips. He would take me out of school, like when in second and third grade, fourth grade, and we go out and scout other teams. And this is like before, all the digital stuff that we have now. So I'd be out there with my pencil and pen, I'd be like, number 30 got this many tackles, Dad, and I'd be reporting it back to Mr. Johnson. And I was like a third grader, so that was cool, man.
Yeah,
and we stop at
really
sandwiches, get our turkey sandwiches, and he got roast beef because he loved roast beef, and yeah. So football, RHP football is way in my blood. Yeah.
I know it is, and that's what I had to bring you on for sure, man. Yeah, I was gonna say that having the defensive. Now, what was it like playing for Coach Lunney?
Oh man, it's all about the X's and O's out on the field, dude. When we got home, he actually wasn't like all about football though. He was able to maintain the separation between family time and football time. But during practice, man, it was funny. Even like after he retired, he'd still be like doing X's and O's at home. Like there's the one time he actually had this perfect defense. And he's like, I gotta show Mr. Johnson. I figured it out. There's no way that the other team can score. So he's like, check this out. He showed Mr. Johnson, like, Gary, there's 9 men on the field. And this is 8-man football. It's like, oh, man, I thought I had it. So,
wow. Sometimes that is really, really funny.
Yeah.
I love it, man. That is fantastic. Yeah. Let me ask you, Tim, about something else, kind of non-football related. Something else that you do in the summers is run the Club Care program.
Yeah, for the last 3 years, we've had the opportunity to bring Club Care back, and last year we had over 100 kids in the program. We run 7 weeks, and we do all kinds of hands-on STEM programs, the robotics, the art, a bunch of science. We go on outings once a week, from the science center to we did aquarium last year. We did the beach, all over the place, the water parks. Kids love it. The Pearl kids wanted something to have in the summer. And for years, I was taking care of my dad. I couldn't do it. I was actually in charge of Club Care, 15 years ago before taking care of my dad. And people were like, can we bring it back? Can we bring it back? So finally we got together and we were able to bring it back. So happy that's going on. And we look forward to a lot more years with it. So, really fun. So it's a good program for the kids.
So some fun summer field trips as well that aren't kind of school related. Like, is there still like beach trips? Not Spirit Farm and
so
stuff?
we went to Huntington Beach this last year, Seal Beach, the Cara Beach, Bolsa Chica.
That's right.
Jack in the Box Cara Beach.
That's the one. Yeah.
And then we did this water park out in pretty close to where the football game was this last out in Riverside. Name's passing me, but anyway. A lot of fun out there. So a really small one, so you could like basically stand on one spot and watch all the kids, nice and safe. So
Wow. Wow. Interesting. And as far as your coaching, Tim, you still coach the little guys in care?
I do. I coach kindergarten and first grade right now. The uh, flag football team and soccer right now is what we're doing, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We
Yeah,
don't win a lot this year, but that's okay. They had fun.
What did you always say when I used to coach with you when I was in like 7th, 8th grade you always used to say, we may not win many games, but we're going to win at
That's
snacks
right.
afterwards.
We're gonna eat the best snacks and we're gonna cheer the loudest, right?
You've coached the little guys for a very, very long time now. Is it kind is it kind of interesting going from, kindergarten, first grade kids you're coaching then to like teenagers, high school?
Oh, I love it because it's the diversity. I get to relax during the coaching in kindergarten, just laugh, and then when I get to the high school level, get in there and do your homework. No, I don't care. It's different levels, bunch of different levels, but all around it's helping kids and being a mentor to whether it's athletics or education, whatever it is. So that's what I'm all about.
Well, let's talk about last year's football team and the magical. We're in the middle of another hopeful playoff run here, coming up with the second round game. Man, that run last year in the playoffs. Talk to me about that experience for you.
That's exciting. A lot of away games, which I think we have another away game this week, right?
Brutal. The 6th in a row.
Yeah,
brutal.
Like we're repeating last year. A lot of away games. I love the road trips, travel. The Santa Monica game, man, that was crazy. I don't know how we pulled that off, but man, great game, gentlemen. That was amazing. And then they had the seating problem, and then half our people couldn't even get into halftime or whatever. That was
nuts.
Goodness,
yeah,
like brutal.
Well, but I guess
it was a fun season. Yeah,
fun season, man. It was memorable for sure. And
yeah,
kind of on that note, as well as this season here. You've been someone that's watched RHP football forever. You've seen the 8-man days, 11-man transition to where we're at now. I mean, how can you explain that transition and how it has happened, the steadiness, the consistency?
I think it's the leadership, the coaches. They all know care football. It's in their, they know what care football is, ingrained from back with Mr. Johnson, my dad, Mr. Orrick, the foundation of the program itself. All the coaches now went through the football program. They understand the brotherhood aspect of it, and just the bonds that people form. You could probably name everyone that was in your class on your football team at this point, right? Every one of us could do that because of that bond, that special, what you feel during that football season with that group of guys. You're going into battle with them, and football it's a unique aspect to our school. We have lots of different aspects of our school, but this is definitely one where guys formulate those bonds, the special bonds that last a lifetime. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they really have, and it's just been so impressive to see where we started to where we're at now. And it's again the steadiness, the consistency. That was very well said. Another connection you and I have, Tim. We used to coach together, as I said. We also used to play in the pep band together. You taught me a lot about.
I know you stole my trumpet, little bum. No.
Playing the trumpet,
my trumpet in print shop one day. And next thing I know, Mr. Kirby's giving it to you to play. But no, it was all good. No, I love playing the trumpet back in the day. Alma mater at the end. That's what we're missing. The guys.
I agree.
We need the pep band playing with them. I'll get my trumpet. You get yours. All right. No.
Let's go. Hey, we could do that. Acapella is cool, but yeah, I don't know. I think that kind of with singing alongside the band or whatever. I think it a little better fit there.
Yeah.
See if we can swing something here. But no, that was a great time. I learned a lot about being rowdy and hitting the high C note on the trumpet. You would turn bright red. I was like, okay, I can do that too.
Well, I cheated because I would play all the other notes and then Kinley would hit the really high ones because my lip would be dead by then.
That was Kenny.
We would just go back and forth between each other.
Yeah, no, and we had some good times playing. We did. One memory I have non-football related was you, me, and I think it was Ken Lee got to play our trumpets at your sister Ginger's wedding.
At the wedding, yeah. Ginger requested us to play a little trumpet fanfare for her wedding as she walked down the aisle. That was a special time. I don't know if you knew this. This was actually my sister walked down the aisle by herself because my dad was in the wheelchair and all.
Yeah.
But as she's walking down the aisle and we're playing our trumpets, my dad is singing at full blast the song, and she's just like, oh, special moment, that he was actually still part of it. So
Wow. Well, I know
yeah.
that. Yeah, I think he wrote the song or had something to do with
Your volume
the
went
song.
down. I
Oh,
can't
it
hear.
did.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so Mr. Lunney, I thought wrote that song or had something to do with it, and so that's pretty awesome. That's why she wanted us to play it so that we
Yeah,
could.
she wanted us to play it because he wasn't able to walk her down the aisle, and it was a special moment. I think we played "When I Consider," which was like a song he wrote, so he was
Yeah.
singing it, and it was special for everyone.
Yeah, it was a tremendous honor, and Mrs. Deemers, now Ginger, your sister, she was a big impact for me. So it was an honor to do that with you, Tim, and to play the trumpet. What do you think? I always talk to Mr. Kirby about this. We need to get like a little brass ensemble back together.
Dude,
What do
I
you
ain't
think?
got a lip anymore, man.
Nothing. We'll make you the low part, the harmony. What do you think? I haven't played in a while either, but
I'll play
I'm
a
ready.
French horn or a tuba.
Okay, there we go. Come on, I think we get a little brass ensemble going. That could be fun.
It'd
Bring
be
back
fun,
some
actually.
memories.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, church or football game. I don't know. It'll be fun. Makes me want to pull my my trumpet out every football season here. So, Tim, I appreciate you coming on the show today, man. I've wanted to have you on a while, and yeah, you're one of the many people, as we mentioned, the great contributors to Rio football, because there's so many different people contributing, parents, alumni. Man, it's really special, this program we have.
It sure is, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad for what you're doing. It's amazing. Keep it up.
It's a blast, man. I appreciate that. It's fun to do. And what do you think? You ready for another road trip this Saturday or Friday?
I guess
back
so.
in
We're
Riverside?
heading right back to Riverside, I hear. So
right back there. Let's go. The good news is, I guess the one motivation we can say is that if we do advance, it will be guaranteed a home game. So,
and will that be quarters that we were at?
This is technically the quarters, the second round / quarters.
So there'll be home semis.
A home semi, which
nice. That'd be great.
would be cool. So we don't want to
cool.
get too far ahead of ourselves, but that is the goal. Let's get to those semis and take down the King Wolves this Friday night out in Riverside again. Sounds good. Sounds good, Tim. Thanks again. Hey, we'll see you with your lens and ready to bring a jacket. It'll be chilly.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. That was fun. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks so much, Tim Lunney, for coming on the podcast, getting us ready for the second round matchup with the King Wolves out in Riverside this Friday night. Great time catching up with Tim, talking about some football memories, talking about some just random memories, and getting a little insight into the Rio Hondo Prep student curriculum, if you will. So big contributor there, as I mentioned, with all the photography and photographs that he puts together out there. So again, anytime we get to bring on a member, not just of the alumni, but somebody that contributes in some form or fashion on the show, I think it's fun to just get a little taste of how everybody is contributing to this great program. And it takes so many people. And we mention the parents all the time about all the meals they do. Last Friday night, it was funny. I think I took video of it as Mrs. Tkach and Mrs. Curtis out there dancing at halftime, holding up giant heads of their sons. I know the Burrow family, they have those giant heads of Zach, and I'm sure the boys are rather embarrassed by those moments, but that is the duty of our parents out there, to all the hard work they do and the contributions they make. They're allowed to, embarrass their sons a little bit. That's what it is all about. I remember when my mom did those things back in the day, and my dad still tries to do that a little bit here and there as well. So great times indeed last Friday night, but it is time to create some new memories, some new moments this Friday night out in Riverside, back again for the second round of the CIF Division 7 playoffs. I do want to look up some things about, let's see here, not video. We want to look up, share my screen with you, if we will, to check out the, do this correctly. There we go. The King Wolves. Let's look at their schedule and their body of work here on Max Preps. As I mentioned earlier, there's a victory there for Friday night in the first round of the Division 7 playoffs, a 24-0 win over an 8-2 8-2 Vista Del Lago Ravens football team. And we know what that trip was like. It wasn't a long trip for King by any means, just down the road, but we made that long trip last year into the semifinals that propelled us into the championship game against Santa Monica, of course. So King, let's look at their season. 8-3 now on the season. They had an 8-2 regular season. They opened up with a 35-18 victory over Roosevelt High School out there in Eastvale. Then they had a 49-0 drubbing of Kaiser, kind of a shocking score there, although I'm sure maybe the Kaiser program has fallen off a little bit. JW North, 24-14. I believe they played Ramona in a close game in their league play, I guess. So that was a kind of a matter of fact. Let's click on that just to kind of give us a common opponent idea there. JW North, just because I think they played Ramona, and I'm curious what that score was. JW North, ouch, 1-9 on their season. Lost 33-19 to Ramona early in the season. So that just gives you an idea of what who was that? Of what King did to that opponent there. So back to the schedule, as I mentioned, Riverside Poly 21-18, and I believe again Riverside Poly did in fact play Ramona as well. Ramona beat Riverside Poly, so a close game here. And if I look at their schedule, 21-18, one of their closest games of the year, a 3-point win. So that might be a good film to go back and look at. Murrieta Valley, the first loss of the season, a blowout really, 62-6. And I believe Murrieta Valley is a very, very high division. I'm talking like top 5 division, maybe even like Division 2 or 3. I could be wrong on that, but that's a good football program that they got beaten up pretty bad in. Corona Santiago was another a victory after that loss, 35-20 for the King Wolves, and they followed that up with their second trip to Corona in consecutive weeks, taking down Corona High School 45-10. So 2 wins after the loss to Murrieta Valley, and then they fell again 24-23 to Temecula Valley on October 18th. That looks like a great game film to go check out, because anytime there's a 1-point loss, or win or whatever, that's probably pretty good game to look at. So we'll have to go back and give that a look maybe on our film. I'm sure our coaches watch every one of their games, really, honestly. It was back-to-back losses right before Halloween. Murrieta Mesa, another good football team who is in a rather high division, I believe, as a playoff contender. 28-13 was the loss there. So tough loss, 2-touchdown loss to the King Wolves there to not round out the regular season, but they bounced back with a 25-15 win over Great Oak on the road to complete their league play to get in. So they really needed that win at the end of the season to get in the postseason. Let's look at their league, the Big West League here. Is that what it's called? Okay, full standings. They gave us just 3 teams. So in that league that they played in, looks like let's see, so 6 teams, so 5 games in league. Mesa took it at 5-0, Temecula Valley 3-2, and King was able to get the 3rd playoff spot with a 3-2 record. So that game they played in the last game of the regular season against Great Oak was to determine the final playoff spot. I'm guessing with the 3-way tie with 3 teams being with only 2 playoff spots, it came down to, I'm sure, some head-to-head stuff, or I don't know, maybe a coin flip, who knows. But King gets in the playoffs with a much-needed win there in the final week of the regular season. And then we know what they did last week against Vista Del Lago. Kind of a surprising score, as I mentioned, only because it was Vista Del Lago who was projected to, in fact, in some cases, win that division. So just some stats here. Not necessarily leaders. Where was I looking at? Okay, Derek Kahn. He has been all over the field for the Wolves. Derek Kahn. He played quarterback in the first round game, I believe. Max Prep's throwing ads and stuff up here. Derek Kahn. He is number 11, 6'3", 185 pounds. He played some wide receiver earlier in the year, I guess, on the Riverside TV pep rally, Friday night pep rally show that I posted a clip on. They were talking about Derek Kahn and how he kind of does a lot for this team, out in Riverside. But they put him at quarterback, and he's been playing some quarterback, and he had a really good game. Let's see if the stats are up yet for the playoff game. Does not look like it. Nothing yet, but he had 100+ yards, maybe 150+ yards rushing in the game Friday night against Vista Del Lago. So Derek Kahn, he's their guy, quarterback. They did a lot of like zone read and stuff where he was pulling the ball. So he is a guy that Rio Hondo is going to have to stop. He's a guy that, I don't know, could probably throw the ball a little bit as well. But if you look at kind of their overall leaders here, some receiving yards per game, tackles per game, total touchdowns. Riker Galvan has 9 touchdowns, Brian Robinson 8 touchdowns, and Derek Kahn 8 touchdowns as well. These were stats not updated from the first round of the playoffs. So number 0, Riker Galvan. He is listed as a free safety. Looks like a running back. I gotta assume. I would assume so. Riker Galvan, 6 foot, 185 pounds, similar to Mr. Khan. But so he's one of their big time players, as well as, let me see, where's our rushing yards? That was Riker Galvan. Brian Robinson leads the team in rushing, at least as of Friday night. 88 yards per carry. He wears number 8 on the football field. So we won't look at any highlights or clips of these things. I'll let you guys be able to go and do that for yourselves. But again, Max Preps, just looking at some things here on the podcast that I wanted you guys to check out on the MLK King Wolves. So check them out on Max Preps and take your time on that. I'm now going to go to our bracket that has been updated officially here on the podcast or at the CIF-SS.org website. As you can see, this is our half of the bracket. It was West Torrance that was victorious 24-20 over West Valley, and it was Oak Park out in, I believe, where was that? That's like in the valley, I think. They took down Camarillo. High scoring game there, man. 53-43. Wow, a lot of points scored. So here are your final 4 teams on this half of the bracket. One of those 4 teams you're seeing before you will be in the CIF Championship in 2 weeks here for Division 7. So if Rio advances, they will, in fact, be a home team, as it would have been an automatic. Well, each team here on the other side of the bracket has had a home game, and we have not. So there was no coin flip needed, no coin flip involved, and that is why, in fact, we were able to be projected as a home team in the semifinal. But first things first, we're not going to talk about if it's the Care Park or an alternate venue or whatever the case may be. We have to focus on the MLK Wolves. I guess it is Martin Luther King High School, but they go by King, I guess. So the King Wolves, which kind of a cool ring, has a ring to it. King Wolves, just one phrase, pretty cool there. So I'm looking forward to this matchup, guys. And I wish there was more to kind of break down. I got some film to watch, which I will be doing the next few days. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. Make no mistake about it. The King Wolves taking down Vista Del Lago is a big deal, and that is something that I think should be noted. We're playing there. There are no pushovers, and I know we dominated Friday night, and it would be really easy to sit here and say, "Oh man, we're ready to just kill everyone." I mean, you can't have that attitude. You cannot have that mindset. You have to move on to the next game and have the new attitude of, "Hey, we're not supposed to be here," in a sense. And whether we are or not, it still can't change. I mean, maybe we do belong here, and maybe we do belong in this division, but you got to continue to have that chip, that edge that's just like, no, we need to prove people wrong, because we do. There's a lot to prove wrong, and it was really fun on Friday night to just a little fun fact to take note of that. Ramona suited up roughly 72 guys. I think we did the math, 9 lines of 8 guys lined up. And so that happened to be more boys than we have in the entire high school, which is really neat. I think we have 70 boys in the high school. And as Coach Carson told me before the game, he asked me kind of jokingly, but in a serious tone, he's like, "Hey, Matt, how many guys can you have on the field? Can you have more than 11 on the field if you have like 70 plus guys?" And it took me a second, and then I realized he was kidding. And it was kind of showed us just how loose our team is in those moments. The coaches were loose, the players were loose, but they were ready to lock in and focus as well. So it's time you got to turn the page. We're on to the second round, and you can't get to the semifinals, man, without showing up, balling out, playing physical, fighting every tooth and nail, scratching and clawing, whatever you got to do, because it's not going to get easier. Each and every step as you climb through this bracket will be tough. And so a very, very impressive win for the King Wolves last week over Vista Del Lago. So they forced 5 turnovers for the Ravens. The King Wolves forced 5 turnovers, got 5 takeaways. So Rio Hondo, 4 takeaways themselves on Friday night down there against Ramona, shut out the Rams. Similarly, the King Wolves forcing 5 turnovers, shutting out their opponent, the Vista del Lago Ravens. So something's got to give here. Rio's got to continue to take care of the ball and cause some turnovers. And if they can frustrate the team a little bit, I think that is where we can see some magic happen. We saw that early and often with Ramona. Rio has to limit the big plays, not let Mr. Derek Kahn really get going out in the open field and making big plays. You got to bottle it up. You got to bend, don't break, and then hopefully cause some turnovers as well. And man, if our offensive line gets rolling and we can continue to get chunk plays in the running game and then maybe hit a few play action passes, I'm confident we will be able to move the football. But you got to block, you got to tackle. Nothing different about any of that stuff. It is a game, and it is a game that I'm very much looking forward to. I know we asked a great deal of our fans on the road trip to come out to get out of work early and this and that, but I implore you guys. Coach Carson liked the crowd on Friday, but he made comments in the post-game interview there on the sideline. We want more people here next week, and I implore you guys. Rio's out in the Inland Empire again. For you Inland Empire people, you Orange County guys, get to this game, man. There may not be a semifinal. We need every man, woman, and child each and every game, each and every week. This could be it. It's playoff football. Win or go home. You cannot sit around and wait. Oh, I'll go to the finals, or I'll go to this. Mr. Armand Mascamp, the Rio legend from the 1960s, former teammates with Coach Ken Drain, flew in from Arizona to Riverside, to Ontario, and commuted to the game at Ramona High School on Friday night. A legend, making the long trip from Arizona to come support his Rio Hondo Prep alma mater. It's up to you guys. We got to see you there. Get it going. Come on. No more messing around. It's playoff football. It's November. We need you guys. So the boys need you. Thank you to everyone who showed up in attendance on Friday night. It was a great time, great energy. Now rest up those vocal cords, and again, we get to do it again, right? Rinse and repeat. New week, new game. Let's get it on, man. Let's go. There's a lot of teams that are happy that Rio Hondo won, or I should say media outlets. Man, it's great they won again. But the question keeps being asked, what is their ceiling? When will the magic end? People want to know. I say we make them wait a little bit longer. It has been an honor doing this. It's tiring, it's time consuming, but it is so much fun to put this podcast out and to record for you guys and just to do this every week, man. So let's get it going. Let's get it going. Come on, fans. Let's do what we got to do. All the great alumni out there on Friday, we need more of you. Tell one friend. Everyone, this is a challenge to everyone out there this week. Not only do I want you to get one more person to subscribe to the podcast, to the Instagram, to the Facebook. That's always great. And please do that. One person a week. Tell one family member, one friend. The alumni, it is your duty this week to get one person, one friend, one other member of the alumni to this game on Friday. That is my challenge to you. We have the inaugural, the challenge to the president, the challenge to the academy. This is my challenge to the alumni. Let's go. No more messing around. Not having it. Bring that energy. Let's go. It's time. The time is now. The place is here. The place is in Riverside, California, Friday night. We'll see you there, guys. Second round. Are we done yet? And to the rest of the world out there, to the media out there, to everyone, do you hear us yet? I want to be heard some more. So let's get it on. Let's get it going. Let's get to that second round game very early and show the King Wolves, the Rio Hondo Prep, is not only not scared to travel, but they travel well. Our 6th straight road postseason game. Wouldn't have it any other way. Let's roll in there into the Wolf's Den. Wolf's Den? Do they have dens? I don't even know. Let's roll in there and make it happen. We'll see you on Friday night, guys. Need everybody there. And in closing, much like last week, to the boys strapping up those pads and representing all of us when this thing kicks off Friday night at 7 o'clock. Fight, fight, fight.
Ain't scared to ride this train, make a few marks, leave a few stains. Might slam just a little too hard, might take it just a little